Hey, what's going on? It's Chris Konya. Welcome to the Chris Konya Show. Thank you so much for the support in the first 4 episodes. That makes this episode 5. 5 episodes in a row, as I promised to deliver an episode every single weekday morning. 6 a.m. for audio, 8 p.m. for video on Facebook.com/Chris Konya Show. And you can search Chris Konya Show on YouTube as well if you prefer that platform. Hopefully by now we are on iTunes and Google instead of just Spotify and ThunderMediaLive.com. Even though it's super easy to find all the shows from Thunder Media Live at ThunderMediaLive.com, including this show, I get it. You want the path of least resistance. You know how to use iTunes already. You know how to use Google Play already. You know. And you work so hard at your 40-plus hour a week job that you don't want to work to do things you like to do, like be entertained by watching a video or listening to audio. And I bring up working 40-plus hours a week because there are some people who are weekend warriors, some people who have second jobs or their full-time job bleeds into the weekend. And one of the most common jobs that people have on the weekends is serving or bartending. And I thought about this because I hate when people get dramatic about this, but I came out of retirement this weekend to get behind the pine and sling drinks. Oh gosh, how could you make bartending sound so corny by using all those cliches? No, I helped a friend who opened a bar in Rochester this weekend because his main bartender, which is an awesome bartender, by the way, who is an awesome bartender, by the way, I should say, was out of town, was on vacation, so he asked me to come and help him out this past Saturday night to bartend. And it's an easy job. I mean, sure, there are you're standing on your feet for a couple hours for the entire shift, I should say, not just a couple hours. And you'd rather be on the other side of the bar enjoying yourself, but it is not a hard profession. I mean, at least in my experience. Now, the one difficult thing about being a bartender is, of course, dealing with some of the customers. And you've seen these things come up, especially on Facebook, where people who are in the restaurant industry or bartenders or used to be bartenders or whatever will post these stories, the top things you shouldn't say to a bartender. And while seeing this, at least once a month, the same things in these same lists gets annoying, most of them are true. So since I, Chris Konya, came out of retirement this past weekend and got behind the pine to sling some drinks, I decided to go over this list. And as you guys know, I'm brutally honest, and I'd like to give my opinion on each of these things that apparently piss bartenders off. I'll let you know if they're true, they're false, if people are being babies about it, or the customer who does this deserves not to be back in a bar. So let's go over this. According to Thrillist.com, these are the 14 things you should never say to a bartender. Number 1, how about a drink on the house? As far as this goes, I think that you should shoot your shot. You never know how the bartender's feeling. Maybe they're the owner and they're excited that the bar is opening, or they had a great weekend and it's Sunday and you're like, hey, this one's on you, right? Or whatever. I'd say shoot your shot. I wouldn't push it past that first attempt. I wouldn't give them the old sales pitch of how you deserve a free drink because of what you're going through in your life. I don't know how many bartenders will sympathize or empathize with you, but shoot your shot. I absolutely have no problem with you going, yeah, this one's on you, right? Or how about a drink on the house? Just don't take it the wrong way when the bartender goes, no, without any explanation, because the explanation should be obvious. Number 2, the person who waves the money at the end of the bar because they're ready to order. Okay, this one I agree with. While you can hold, a $20 bill out to show that you're ready to pay, you have the cash, you don't have to ask how much something is, you don't have to dig in your wallet for a credit card or your purse, but you're ready to make the exchange. You don't need to know what the draft list is. You're ready to pay and walk away. So you can allow the bartender to get to the next customer. I have no problem with that. But by doing that does not give you some kind of easy pass or fast pass to be served first. It is at the bartender's discretion how and when they get to you, because they don't know, or you don't know as the customer, who has been waiting longest. You don't know that that bartender doesn't have the next person in mind already because they've been waiting 4 minutes for a couple beers. So while having your money out and ready is okay, that doesn't mean you have some secret code or you should be served first. You don't have a, knock on the door, the password to the speakeasy. No privilege, no special treatment, but having the money ready, no problem with that. Number 3, can you make my drink extra strong? Yeah, if you pay for it. Once in a while, if the bartender has a close relationship with the owner, and you have been coming in for the past couple nights, or you come in all the time, or you're deemed the title a regular, chances are they're not going to make it extra strong for absolutely no reason. Again, if the bartender isn't the most trustworthy bartender and kind of makes a deal with you that if you tip well, I'll make your drink strong, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If you want a strong drink, pay for it. Ask for a double. When you ask for a double, I, as a bartender, will give you a double, which, as the bartender's pouring, they maybe tend to pour more when there's a double, more than a double is supposed to be. You know what I mean? They get a heavy hand on the double pour drinks instead of counting the single pour. So if you want an extra strong drink, ask for a double and pay for it. It's that simple. I mean, this isn't a barter system back in the 1900s, early 1900s, where we trade chickens for leather or something like that. This is a business, and you have to pay for your product. You can't go to the grocery store and ask the cashier to only charge you for 4 apples when you got 6. It just doesn't work that way. Next up is, I don't like this drink that I just ordered. Can you remake it? Now, on this list, they're wording these situations in a pretty sarcastic manner, but this does happen. People order something. Hey, can I have a Long Island iced tea? And then they try it and they go, ugh, why did you order the Long Island iced tea? Especially if you didn't ask about it first. Hey, is this drink strong? Is it fruity? Is it popular? Ask anything, right? Because I have no idea who you are, chances are. So how do I know what you like? I don't like tomato juice. That's why I don't drink Bloody Marys. Can you tell by looking at me whether or not I like tomato juice? And if you said yes, screw off. You know you're lying. But honestly, yeah, you ordered the drink. If you don't like it, and it's a weird drink, if you ordered a cranberry vodka and you don't like it, come on. The ingredients are in the name. But if you order the hurricane that's on the menu, a cocktail name that's made up by the restaurant or the bar, with ingredients made up by the restaurant or the bar, and you don't like it, I'll make you another drink. But don't order another drink that you're not sure you're going to like, because after that one freebie, it's a you problem. It's not a me as a bartender problem. So, sure. If you're nice about it and you genuinely don't like the drink and it's not all the way gone or half gone, we'll make you another drink. Chances are. Next up, so what's your real job? I mean, it doesn't get more insulting than that. There's plenty of career bartenders that make a great living. I know someone who's a bartender who owns her own house. She's fantastic with money. Debt's paid off. She's living a great life. All she does is bartend. And I don't want to say all she does because that's the whole point of this gripe on this list, but it's a full-time job, especially in the craft cocktail world, the brewery world. So what's your real job is a pretty insulting thing to say in any case. Any decent human being shouldn't say that to anybody. Because do you genuinely care if you're asking a question like that? No, you don't. One mojito, please, is apparently a phrase you're not supposed to say to a bartender. I don't know why this is on the list. Why would this be on the list? If it's a drink that's made at that bar, you should offer it all the time. Whether now again, there's some social situations where if there's one bartender and there's 70 people in the bar and he or she is busting ass to ask for a craft cocktail, is kind of frowned upon. But again, if you're a good bartender and you respect the business owner and someone asks for that, you shouldn't give an attitude about it. You really shouldn't. It's weird. It's bad customer service. Bad customer service all around, and you could rub people the wrong way by doing that. But I get why certain bartenders get frustrated about it. But I don't see a big deal. If it's on the menu, we serve it. No matter how busy it is, order it. This is a good one. When people ask, can you make something for me I'll love without any guidance whatsoever? Again, this is worded in a very sarcastic way, but usually people ask something like, make me something good. Like they ask for this, for you to pull something out of the sky that you think this complete stranger is going to like, which in a world where we can't make judgments about anybody, how am I supposed to do that? Now, I know in my bartending days that most of the time girls like things that are fruity and sweet. It's just, I'm basing that on my own experience. I'm not saying that women can't handle craft beer or a glass of scotch or anything like that. It's just I'm playing the statistics on my own experience. But make me something good. Make me something I'll love. Person I've never met before. Again, I'll entertain the conversation. Okay, what kind of liquor? Do you like juice? Do you like soda? I mean, I feel like I'm on a first date with the customer by the time we figure out what they think is good. And this goes for guys and girls. What do you like? Like, why couldn't you figure this out on the way up to the bar? You know what you like. Come up and say, I like gin and I want bubbles in it. I want some kind of soda in it. What do you think would go well with that? It's like, give me some guidance. So I kind of get what they're saying here, but I think a lot more bartenders need a lot more patience when it comes to stuff like this because some people just get undecided. When I go into a bar, I know what I drink. I like Jenny beer and I like whiskey. If you ask me what I like, that's how I'm going to answer. But sometimes I want to try something different. So I'll ask, do you have anything on special? And not because I'm being a cheap ass. I mean, partially because I'm being a cheap ass, but not entirely because I'm being a cheap ass. Because I want to see maybe if there's some kind of weird Mexican beer that is only sold here in this particular bar in Florida that I want to try that I think it might be okay. I don't know. I just want to try something different. So have some guidance. Know what kind of liquor, know what kind of mixer you like. When people say, I know the owner, it's like, okay, the owner's a very nice guy. It's, I mean, if or a very nice girl and a very nice woman. If you're saying it in a way where you expect some kind of special treatment, it's not going to fly with most bartenders. If you say it because you're trying to relate to the bartender, because obviously the bartender knows the owner, sure, cool. Yeah, I know Dan too. I know Trish too. I know Paul too. Whatever. Great. We're having a conversation. But if you're doing it to get stronger drinks or free drinks or whatever, talk to the owner. If you know that him or her that well, they'll hook you up. When a customer says, hey, can you hold my coat or my purse behind the bar? Now, I'm not a fan of this either. Obviously, there's a liability here. If you give me your coat and your Coach bag with your wallet in it, maybe your cell phone, just kidding, you would never let go of your cell phone. There's a liability, and I don't think that you should put that pressure on the bartender. Again, this is not your first time in a bar. You probably even worked in a bar at one point in your life because almost everybody has. Be conscious of it. Go to your car. Hold on to your coat. Wear something that you would wear inside the bar the whole time. Again, it doesn't hurt to ask. Shoot your shot, but you can't get upset when a bartender turns down that responsibility. Now, I think this one is more for the female bartenders, and in a world where the Me Too movement is prevalent and equality is pushing its way up, maybe even past where it's supposed to be. I have no idea. I'm not an expert on any of that, so don't get offended by something that I don't even know what I'm saying. The next item on the list is simply smile. Now, I became friends with a bartender because I was sitting at the bar with a buddy of mine, and this old creepy guy. Now I can call him creepy because of what I'm about to tell you about him in the rest of this story. Goes to the bartender, starts calling her sweetheart. Hey, sweetheart, can I have another beer? Hey, sweetheart, let me see a smile. Bartenders don't want to hear that. Guy bartenders don't want to hear that because it puts them in an uncomfortable situation. And female bartenders obviously don't want to hear that because they're being objectified. Now, there are plenty of female bartenders who are rough around the edges in a good way, in a way where anything you could throw anything at them and they'll throw it right back or dodge it or really react to it in a way that you probably wouldn't expect. So hats off to them. But for the most part, talk to a female bartender like you'd probably talk to a guy bartender. And again, it's going to take a long time for the old creeps to weed their way out. And I'll tell you what, not to make this about men or about me, but I've been that behind the bar where I've had older women say stuff like this to me about my butt. They've said it, in a very flirtatious way. Can I get you anything else? Yeah, you can, honey. Like stuff like that. And I don't care. It really rolls off. I'm one of those rough around the edges kind of girls. You know what I mean? So, yeah, when a bartender or when a customer says smile to the bartender, it's like they're barking an order. And I'm guessing women, female bartenders, and even women in general aren't fans of that. And this kind of relates to the next thing. I like the way you shake, baby. It's like, okay, that's blatantly hitting on the bartender. This is a little past the shoot your shot thing. This is just, this is like cat calling, which you have to know in 2019 you can't do. Maybe back a couple of years ago you can get away with it, and maybe it's still all in good fun, and you're being innocent and honest about it, and you're just being playful and whatever. But it's just not the way the world works anymore. Like this article says, you wouldn't hit on your bank teller like that, or your mechanic. So just because they're behind a bar doesn't mean that they're on some kind of stage or in some kind of frame of mind where they're looking for that kind of attention. Next on the list, do you have a phone charger? When a customer asks if I have a phone charger, I'll let them use the phone charger. I get why some bartenders get upset about this. Maybe them being asked when they're 3 deep at the bar and they have a ton of people to get to. But again, I'm a big shoot your shot guy. Ask. Maybe I like giving out phone chargers. Maybe I'm the phone charger king and I live my life and work hard to buy tons of phone chargers. So when you ask me for one, bam, I got it. Maybe. Shoot your shot. But again, don't get annoyed if the answer is no. Now, I don't know if I can relate to this one, but I'm sure some female bartenders watching or listening can. This one just says, is there a male bartender who can make my drink? Now, I'm not sure why a customer would say something like that. I can't even think it off the top of my head, and I didn't pre-read this article, but why would somebody ask if a male bartender can make their drink instead of the women bartenders? Would the male make it stronger because they drink stronger drinks? Is that the thinking from the customer? I'm going to have to get back to you on this one because I can't even see somebody in 2019 saying that. But you know what's going to happen now? It's whatever that thing is where if you buy a green car, all you see is green cars. Now I'm going to hear it. I'm going to hear it today. I'm going to hear it tomorrow. I'm going to hear it all the time now. I'm going to hear somebody ask a male bartender or somebody ask the female bartender to get the guy bartender to make the drink for them. It's going to happen. That's how the world works. It's crazy. And this one, last but not least, says, you don't mind hanging around for an hour after last call, right? Now, I'll admit there's a sense of urgency. If the bar closes at 2, things start winding down around 1:15, 1:30. Just like you do at work. Just like you do. You're not leaving everything undone, your tools out or your desk all messed up at 4:30 p.m. if you get out of work at 5. You're not making a phone call at 4:49 that was going to last an hour. You're not. Unless you're a workaholic, you're not. If you're an average Joe or Jane or whatever the equivalent is, it's exhausting to not just be able to talk, but you got to do what you got to do. If you're the average person, you want to get out of work when you're supposed to get out of work too. So be conscious of the bar. Be conscious of whether or not you're the person holding the bartender up. I think that's a nice thing to do. Again, not necessary. The bartender should respond with, no, we're open till 2, so what can I get you up until 2? But you can't pull the move, which I've seen before, where you order 3 pitchers of beer at 1:59 a.m. so you can hang around till 3. That's not how it rolls. That's not how it's supposed to work. Just be conscious of it. How much do you need to drink? You need to hang around till 3 in the morning. Go home and drink. It's cheaper anyway. So that covers the 14 things that bartenders don't want to hear, according to this website, Thrillist.com. I hope some of that was relatable. I hope maybe it changes your perspective on bartenders and maybe how you treat them. For the bartenders listening, hilarious, isn't it? They really nail stuff like this when they make these lists. We just don't need to see it every week. Thanks for watching and listening to the Chris Konya Show. Audio every morning during the week at 6 a.m. Videos on Facebook and YouTube at 8 p.m. Appreciate the love, subscribing, sharing, and also interacting with the highlight clips on Facebook. Talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
You cause me trouble. You